Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so if this is your situation that I'm picking up on, I feel like this has been a very emotional situation. And it's also maybe been a very emotionally confusing situation to kind of parse through. And that might have even caught you off guard that it has been so emotionally confusing and that you have been having to kind of pull back the layers of this onion and figure out exactly what's going on, because I feel like there's such this natural feeling of love between yourself and this masculine energy. It's like the feelings are all there. It's like the love and the passion, the interest. I think there's a lot of like copacetic energy here. This would feel like a strong soulmate connection, but then it hasn't unfolded in a straightforward manner. And then I think that's when you had to kind of start looking at other things, and that's when you've been very surprised. And so that's added layers of confusion to the way that you feel about him and what you think has been going on here between the two of you. And from the energy I'm picking up on, I feel like that is kind of by design, because this masculine is a very strategic person and he strategizes. He's kind of a coward, to be honest, and I think that makes him very cruel. And I'm hearing that song from Kanye West. It's like, how could you be so heartless? So it's like, that there's the love, right? So it's hard to actually talk about that and encapsulate that in words, because we only have certain words that mean certain things. And like I said before, there's a lot of love between the two of you, and you felt that there's that love. Well, love, says that the heart space is involved, but then this man has acted in a very heartless, very cruel, very strategic way by aligning himself with third parties, by like maybe trying to get you to compete or rival with somebody else. And it's been very heartless. And I think that's been a confusing situation here for you to navigate, especially when you're trying to ascertain I think that he feels strongly for you, but it's like his character, like where does that come from? What is his angle? There's clearly an agenda here. And again, I think his agenda is preserving his own cowardice and his own incredible sensitivity, because this masculine is actually a very emotionally feeling person. You would be forgiven for thinking that he's like a sociopath or something like that, because again, he's just been so cold. His actions have not aligned with his feelings. There we go. And I feel like that's that karmic masculine versus that divine masculine, because masculinity is always about those actions, right? And really divine masculine and feminine, it's like a cohesion between the two, right? So it's like who he is and how he really feels should inform his actions. But his actions are out of step with the way he feels about you. And then that's how you questioning what you know to be true about him and about his character and about the kind of person he is, and also about whatever was going on between the two of you and the authenticity of the emotions between the two of you. And I think you've removed yourself from the situation. Either you removed yourself from the situation or the divine removed you here from the situation. And that, because I'm seeing the Four of Cups, and I feel like that's actually the formation that's been going on here. There's some kind of, I do think the divine is heavily involved here, but the divine is involved in this motion of pulling you back, because I'm seeing you as that higher cup. And what makes you the higher cup in this situation, and because there's definitely other people that are involved in this, and I don't think you saw that in the beginning, and we'll talk about that here in just a second, but what makes you different energetically and vibrationally and in your soul energy is you were willing to be emotionally vulnerable and emotionally authentic. You were willing to have like the open, honest, straightforward conversations. This is how I feel about you. This is what's been going on. This is why I've been acting the way that I've been acting. You showed up, something you did. Either you did have that conversation, and you were genuine and you were honest and you put yourself out there, or something that you did signaled to the divine that that's where you were sitting, like in your aligned energy, you were getting ready to, or something like that. And that has actually set you apart. And it also has it's a vibrational difference. So this masculine is still sitting at that lower vibration, but he's still fixated on you. And that's where I want to say this is dangerous. Like, I'm worried for you, just because there is love energy here, but because he's so strategic, it pollutes that love energy, and it comes across now more as like an obsession or a fixation. And somebody who is in the grip of an obsession or a fixation, they act heartless. Their heart is not in it, and it's all kind of like strategy, because it's almost like you've become this prize or this objective or this goal that has to be achieved at any cost. And with this masculine, that cost is going to be through manipulation and collateral damage, and the collateral damage will always be other people's hearts and other people potentially being involved and being used like objects or human shields to block his own weakness. And that's what I really want to highlight about this guy, is that he lives in this state of cowardice, but he also lives in this state of hypocrisy, where it's like something happened to this guy like early on, because he is sensitive. He is like, and he doesn't see that as a strength, or he doesn't even see that as like being even neutral, you know? He sees that as like, he could have been made fun of, even just like as a kid, if he would express emotions or something. And so he just kind of learned that that's like, I'm hearing like sissy shit or like weak, or like he was supposed to stiffen up that upper lip, you know? And so, but he can't help the fact that I feel like he's almost all heart, but it just feels like there's not a lot of strength around that heart to be able to carry that heart into the world. So he's a hypocrite because he knows how sensitive he is in the heart area, and he wants to be treated with tenderness around that. He doesn't want to be rejected. I think he has a fear of rejection most of all, and of feeling inadequate. And I think this replicates some kind of wounding that he took on in the heart space early on, where he felt inadequate because of his love, because of his heart, because of his sensitivity and his vulnerability and his emotionality. So he guards that part of himself. He doesn't want it to be seen. And because I don't know, there's something about like, well, if I love you and I've told you that I love you and then you reject me, which is you finding me inadequate, then people are going to make fun of me, and that's going to be the truth of me, that I'm just inadequate, when instead that takes an immense amount of courage. This is why courage is ruled over by the heart space. And I just feel like he's on this process of having to work things out for himself. But I think what makes him this kind of like almost like an unforgivable hypocrite is he levies that, he weaponizes that against other people. So to me, there's something about this that's like very much about the golden rule. You treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And that is how we bring about a peaceful, harmonious, cooperative, you know, friend groups, families, communities, societies, is we treat people the way that we want to be treated. He is doing the exact opposite, which is this state of hypocrisy that he exists in. He does not want people to hurt his heart more than anything. So he goes around wounding other people's hearts because he forms associations with them based on strategy. It's, oh, I notice that you have some kind of interest in me. And I think with you, it's triggering this heart space because he feels so strongly for you and he doesn't. I kind of think this is a man who, if he approaches somebody like in a romantic setting that he feels strongly for, I kind of think he won't do that unless he's bolstered himself emotionally with some third party in the background. 9 times out of 10, I think that third party, that third mitigating variable, is a person. It's some kind of person that either he has waiting in the wings, he knows that they're interested in him, or he's already had some kind of history with that he knows he can pick up and put back down. He can use them like an object. He can completely disregard their heart space and instead use them as a human shield, disregarding their humanity, like to put in front of him and his heart space. So like if he does take a step towards you and you do reject him, then he can tell himself, first of all, emotionally, well, this other person has a crush on me, or maybe multiple. This kind of strikes me as a guy that would sleep with like his friends, and he doesn't hold strong boundaries, and he doesn't care that that might hurt them, or that might hurt their relationships or their friendship in the future if they get into a relationship with someone else that then doesn't want them around him. He doesn't care because it's just so needy. It's just so it's like it's not instinct, because all this is so unhealthy, but it's just impulse. It's just like kind of, and it's so loud in his mind. He feels so justified in that because it's just anything to protect my own heart. But in doing that, he has become the thing that he fears most. He has become the wounder of hearts. And I think this is like a heartbreaker kind of energy. He might come off very cold. He wants to come off like just disaffected, you know? Just like, I'm too cool for school, like nothing really bothers me. That's his like stance of power, because he's the exact opposite of that. And I think you sense this about him. There's something about it where it's like, you know, he has feelings. I think overall, like strong feelings. I think that's something you think that is great about him and that will lead him in the right direction. And even I think he's actually cutting off his own courage. Like this is where his courage is going to come from. I think it comes that way from you. Like your feelings for him make you brave, you know, make you brave to to risk it, to take that risk. It gives you a reason, but he doesn't do that. So he's got you in a situation. And again, I want to go back to this Four of Cups, because that's like the kind of formation that I'm seeing, where you're that fourth cup, you're the higher cup. You've somehow been elevated out of the situation, either because there's emotions here and there's intuition. And I think either you sensed this, that like something else was going on here. It was either you or spirit that did this. It could potentially be both. If it was you, I think you know that he has negative associations. You don't understand why he hangs out with the people that he does, because they're bad for him and they're low. Like they're low, and they have him doing low stuff. And you see him, I'm hearing, why won't he be the king I know he is, the king I see inside. But like if you were the one that removed yourself, it's like whenever you did that, because you might have seen like a rival or something, and I think you see it and you're like, why are you doing this? Like, so I don't think it was completely off the table with you, like just at first, because I think you could see the feeling. I think you could see why he was doing that. And so I think it was open. The door was open for a bit of time for him, like for you guys to rekindle things. But you know that he needs to level up. He has to meet you on your level. He needs to raise his vibrations. He needs to cut off his negative associations. He needs to stop with the toxic habits, and he needs to be willing to be emotionally vulnerable and to admit, because you already know, he needs to admit to you why he did what he did and why he found it appropriate. Because I think that whoever he used to rival you with is like kind of okay with being used. I think you are the person that's like, and tell me also why you feel it appropriate to use an entire other human being with a heart and a soul and a mind and a family and hopes and dreams and insecurities. Like, this is unacceptable behavior. Like, you yourself do not want to be surrounded by that kind of thing going on. Like, it's dangerous and it's not right. And like, I think that's kind of like, yeah. But instead, I think he's being like very skillful, because there's something here, and you could be with someone else, or he thinks you are, or he knows that he's messed up, like to a point where he feels like he needs to try something different, like to get your attention. And that's where in the Four of Cups, I'm zeroing in on that Three of Cups. That's on that lower hill, that lower vibrational energy. They're in kind of like an energetic sow. And that's how the vibration, and I'm hearing Nikola Tesla, if you want to understand the universe, you have to start thinking in terms of energy and frequency and vibration. It's a low vibration that kind of brings them all together. And I'm seeing these three people have drinks together. It doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic, but I'm seeing them, they have like an association that they feel is hidden and therefore intimate. So there's a strategy. So what brings them all together, the frequency, the vibration that they all share, is they're all feeling like shit about themselves, and I think overall in their lives. And they are all strategic, and they're seeking to be strategic in this moment around them feeling like shit. And this is reminding me of the Ramana quote, and I posted this on the community board not too long ago actually, where it says, it's not wrong to seek out happiness. Happiness is your nature. What's wrong is seeking it outside when it is inside. So these people would like to feel happy, but they have no sense of the inner landscape. So instead, they would like to take some kind of strategic move in their external reality to bolster their standing, and they feel like that's going to make them stop feeling like shit. And some of them think they can obtain something here for the long term. But it would be through guile and through positioning and through strategy. And they all have something in common. That's the unity that they focus on. So they think they have a cooperative association. They think, oh, we are in cahoots. There's a collusion here. And they think that makes them friends, and that they think that makes them similar and intimate and cooperative. But every single one of these people is, again, being emotionally inauthentic. They're all hiding something from each other because, yes, they have identified, and this has something to do with you in this situation. So they've identified something here on the surface that they are going to participate in that is strategic, and it involves all of them being in cahoots, and it might involve some level of a reunion here. And that's going to make them both feel better about themselves, or feel powerful, or feel like they're the shit or something. I don't know. And so they're in alignment with that. But they all, and this is kind of like hubris, is what hubris does. It makes you blind. Deaf, dumb, and blind is what I'm hearing, like on a spiritual level, is they all kind of think that their strategy is going to prevail, but they all know that they're hiding. They want something else out of this situation. And we'll talk about that like more one-on-one, but they're all basically using each other, and they're hidden enemies to one another, because while they have a loose association, it's very low vibrational. It's for all the wrong reasons. It is based on the energy of strategy and not love. Because they have emotions here, but none of them are willing to be, I really feel like there's a very low emotional intelligence, or there's like they don't know what to do with their emotions. Like they have emotions, but they don't know how to deal in that space, how to shift their emotions, and they're unwilling to learn. They're not kind of seeing like, listen, I feel bad and I need to learn how to shift this, and that's my path forward. No, they want to instead get very strategic and jockey for position, either social position, like next to somebody else, to be seen in a certain way, or whatever. Yeah. So it's all very strategic, and I think either the divine sees this and just energetically you no longer vibrate on the same frequency, so you've just naturally elevated out of this situation, or you see this very clearly that that's what goes on here, that this is a very low vibrational association and group and friendship. So he's trying to be very skillful. Now here's the thing that I think would shock you, because I don't think I think you see his strategy up to a certain point and you know that it comes from a place of heartbreak or whatever. But I think that this man has been very dishonorable when it comes to you. I just heard you have had the misfortune of earning the love of a weak man. Earning the love of a strong man will protect you. Like his love will be the pillow that you lay your head on every single night. His love will be the guardian of your heart. It will be the perimeter that all of your enemies will have to go through if they want to hurt you. But earning the love of a weak man means that your enemies have more access to you, where he is willing to throw you over, for his own weakness. And I feel like that's what's actually gone on here. And it would surprise you, I think, that that's gone on. Some of you, I think, have kind of worked this out, or you have a feeling, because, again, things are not unfolding the way that they should unfold if things are the way that you think that they are. So, again, some of you could just be removing yourself. But what I'm saying is that I think this man is playing damsel in distress. Like he is playing damsel in distress. Maybe on an emotional level, it's very help me. It's I've been victimized in this situation. This person could be either they're saying certain things that make you seem like you are self-absorbed and full of yourself and unfeeling and uncaring. He's projecting out all the things that he's actually done, because you have demonstrated to spirit or to him that you are willing to have an emotionally vulnerable, direct conversation. It's him that's being squirrely around all of this. So he could be giving that impression, either with his words, like he's making up lies, or he's framing things in a certain light. He's leaving out things that would change that, that perception of you. Or these other people hate you because they're jealous of you, and they want something that you have or something here, and they've made a lot of assumptions, and he just has not corrected it. Again, the love of a weak man. I just heard for the love of a weak man. So, so he is wanting them to kind of go to war and like fight his battle for him. And that's what this like strategy is. And I think they all feel they have something here to gain from this, that either he has suggested, or again, that could be that part of their strategy that they are hiding. So this third party that he is going to rival with you, or he did rival with you, this could be an ex from their past. This person wants to be the belle of the ball. I'm hearing mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And they want some kind of a new beginning here and a new cycle. It could be with this masculine that loves you and you love him. It could be. And they want to be chosen, and they want to be seen as having the higher cup, not just by him, but socially. And they want to... they're ready for their time in the spotlight. They want to be like the fairest princess, They want to be seen as having been chosen and be superior. Now, if it's not with him, though, there could also be like they want to gain in their own career. I kind of am wondering if it's this other person, because there's three of them. There's this masculine, this third party rival person, and there's another person that's kind of in the wings or in the shadows. So it could be that person could offer them some kind of contract or commitment or some kind of career opportunity. That's a possibility, but it's like they have to do this thing with this masculine in order to get that. Or they maybe feel like this masculine could give them this boost in their career opportunity. There's another possibility here as well. Again, it would be hidden, that this masculine and this rival are kind of using each other because she or he, whoever this is, may want a new beginning with someone else. And they want to actually bait that person similarly to how this masculine is trying to bait you. So they want some other person here who's outside of this group to see them with this masculine, because maybe they want some kind of commitment with that person, and they want some kind of new beginning with that person. And they both are just have this very low consciousness. And I almost heard the word conscience. There's no conscience in this. How could you be so heartless? Like, it's all through strategy. It's all through guile. It's all through manipulation and positioning themselves near people letting assumptions kind of grow. It's very strategic here. It's ego consciousness for sure. And it doesn't have a drop of love in it. Even if these people have feelings for somebody else or whatever. And if this person wants a new beginning with this masculine, it has to do with social standing. It has to do with maybe beating you, like rivaling themselves with you. It's all about themselves. Okay, this third party it has to do with the way that they look in the eyes of others. And that might be like, through rivaling themselves with you. And they really, really want to undermine communication or control communication in some way. Or control a friend group as well. They want control and they want power, either like within, it could be social power, and they're trying to align themselves. And that's what they, I think, secretly think that they have to gain, or that could have been offered on the table here. So, and now there's this third person here that is more like in the shadows. This person could be married, not necessarily to one of these two people, or this person has some kind of asset, like a place, like a location, or some kind of resource, something they feel like maybe only they could provide. It might have to do with travel plans, or they could have money, or something to do with a contract here, or an asset. And this person really wants to feel their own power actually move through the situation. They might feel like they stand to gain power because of an association that they have with one of these people, because they could be associated with one of these people contractually, I don't know. So it's like if one of these two people, like in that third party, the masculine or this rival, is seen to win or seen favorably, then they stand to gain because I don't know. It's like they're associated with one of these people. And I think for some, it's like they might already have power, whoever this person is. It's just that they want to feel their power in this situation. They have something, and it's like they like to use it to bring about their own aims in a situation. They don't really do much research or do much digging about if it's right or if it's wrong, to use their power in a certain way. They don't think about consequence or anything. They just want to feel their power move through the situation, and they want to be seen as being strong and being powerful and having an asset and being, even if it's just in the eyes of these two, being the person that could provide that, So it's very low and it's very sad, and they all feel like shit, and they're all using each other, and it's all this, they're using each other emotionally in lieu of actually getting a clue. Like when it comes to dealing in their own inner emotional space. None of these people have had an inner light turn on of, actually, I need to learn how to handle myself. I need to be noble and honorable. This is the golden rule for all of these three people. I need to treat people the way that I would like to be treated. And I'm hearing that turn into a bit of a prophecy here. Treat people the way that you would like to be treated, or this energy is going to turn back around on you, and you will receive exactly what it is that you have given in this situation. And they're going to keep feeling like shit, because this isn't the solution to feeling like shit. Is like colluding and strategizing around. And you might have a lot of compassion for these people because you understand yourself what it's like to feel like shit and to feel hopeless and to just want instant relief or something. But you do stand apart. And maybe this is like when you were around these people to begin with, maybe you were scared to share your emotions for some reason, or you were scared to be emotionally authentic or vulnerable or to own up to your feelings in a situation, but you've changed and you have elevated out of it, and you are willing to be emotionally vulnerable, and it actually does make you strong, and it makes you noble, and it makes you courageous, and it's Leo energy. So it could have actually put you in the spotlight. It could have brought you towards happiness in some way. The things that these people want, it could have brought you towards career fulfillment. It could have brought you towards an actual love, family, legacy. It brings you closer to that. And I feel like they're meant to watch you rise. I'm hearing that Nicki Minaj quote. It's like, they start coming and I start rising, must be surprising. I'm just surmising, I win, thrive, soar, fire, 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 more, higher. That's that song. It's like, I came to win, to thrive, to prosper, to rise. I came to win, to survive, right? Like, and you're elevating, like you really have this beautiful authenticity, and these people are meant to see that like your heart energy is actually what has elevated you. Because these people, I'm not saying that they don't have emotions, but like, how could you be so heartless? They've been acting from a place of absolute heartlessness, absolute like devoid. And they did something here that they just were not to do. They crossed the line with spirit. It's like, no, we don't behave this way. And we don't treat our loved ones this way. And we don't leave our loved ones wide open to just receive punches to the gut. And we don't use people as human shields. and we don't position ourselves next to people for personal gain and take up a spot in their life and form families and relationships from that level of consciousness, we just refuse to do it because we have wisdom and we understand that that's going to bring about problems in the long term. We understand that that's devil energy, and it's about morality. It's about holding yourself to a certain standard, but this is like standards of the heart. I just heard a total eclipse of the heart, and I also am hearing it's like ba 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 baran ba 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 baran, right? So it's like that's the Beach Boys, right? So it feels like really like punchy and really like beachy and like, oh, this is like fun and we're partying and we're just having a great time. But remember the Beach Boys, like their dad was so controlling and everything had to be like just so to like make everything seem beachy and like fun or whatever. So I feel like there's just a lot of strategy that could be in like personalities that are coming across here, like this masculine especially, like, oh, I'm just like fun and fancy free. But there is a lot of strategy. Like this guy is very cunning, and he kind of plays both sides against the middle because he's trying to petition this group to go after you. So just let that sink in for a second. This man should be next to you, your partner, making your life better, protecting you and you protecting him. That's what healthy love does. He's drawing negative attention towards you. He's creating enemies and sending people towards you. He wants them to hurt you. And this kind of shit pisses me off because I just feel like it's unacceptable for people to be aggressive with each other, especially a man towards a woman, but just really anybody, right? And don't think for a second that just because he winds up some other people here to send them towards you to take some swipes, that that's not him taking swipes at you. So I don't know if this man has the potential to be aggressive, but he just can't get in between him. He can't. He just justifies really low behavior, and he really shouldn't. He can't. And because he's winding up other people, I feel like he doesn't see that, no, I'm actually aggressive towards women. Like, this is unacceptable behavior. And it's really a shame to me that there's been nobody, no like masculine, maybe there's no father involved here or something, that just to kind of set in a strong example of we under no circumstances are aggressive to women. Under no circumstances. You know, like we don't, because he's starting shit with you. And he feels like he broke his own heart by leading through strategy. And he can't see that because he feels so terrified, utterly terrified that you're going to break his heart, that he broke his own heart through strategy. But I really think that operating from this level of consciousness has just made him so unable to see that he's the one that brought in the death knell to your relationship because he involved other people and he shouldn't have done that. And I think he could be sleeping with at least one of these other people or maybe multiple people. He's doing something that gives an impression of intimacy, but really he's just using them. And he doesn't want to be used either. That's like his biggest fear. So I just don't have a lot of respect for this guy. And I think that's how you're feeling because you're like, okay, why? Like, you don't have to be this way. I feel like you're extending out your hand and you're like, why are you doing this? Like, you're fine here. Just take my hand and you'll be okay. But you're not going to go rescue him, which is maybe what he's trying to get you to do. Because, you know, with these people, I think he knows that you know that he has feelings for you and that you have feelings for him. And it's like, well, come get me. It's like, chase me. You know, come get me from these people over here, or I'm going to end up with one of these people or something, you know? And I think you're just kind of like, get yourself out. You created this. Like, why can't you handle yourself? Like, I don't know. It's like, don't get baited into the rescuer, persecutor, victim triangle, because that's what he's essentially trying to do. And that's going to end up with you getting victimized. And it may have already done. You may have already been victimized by this man and his machinations, and you just really don't want to tango with him again. He needs to change. And I think that's your stance on it. And I think it's a positive stance because somebody here wants to be chosen. He wants to be chosen, but this rival wants to be chosen either by him or by somebody else, or seen in the eyes of the social group as like this, it's pick me. It's giving pick me. It's giving who's the fairest of them all, but I'm willing to do some very low and underhanded things to be seen in that light. So they're not actually the fairest of them all. Do you see what I'm saying? All these people are hiding who they really actually are. And as long as they think they can hide it from certain people and from the group, then they'll do it. And that's what they all have in common. And I wouldn't want to be within this group because they're going to turn on each other here. And it might be in the long term where it's like once somebody's gotten their hooks in you, and because everybody here is just a pawn to the other person. And there could be a real conflating love with fixation or reducing love, because this masculine has love for you and for a lot of things and for a lot of other people, but he reduces it down. He reduces it down to this fixation, to like an objective. So he could very well get you and then hurt you or ghost you. He also, this is the kind of guy that might always keep third parties involved in your relationship just to knock you down a peg, because he doesn't know how to emotionally regulate. See, like, how are you supposed to build? Anyways, I feel like you get the point with this, but this would have been a very confusing situation for you to like pull and like parse through, because the love is so genuine. And I think you were just so focused on that in the beginning that you didn't look at what was going on around him, which is a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of horse shit is what I just heard. Horse therapy might actually be very effective. I don't know why I got that. Horse therapy for these people, at least for this masculine and this feminine that's like rivaling you. Horse therapy. There's something here about horse therapy. But anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please take care of yourself. I feel like you're right to keep yourself separated from this, even though there is love here, because you're right. He does need to be on your level. He needs to mature. This is incredibly immature. And it's just low. And all these people disrespect themselves to even involve in this kind of thing to begin with. And they don't know, they don't value themselves. They don't think they're good enough. That's what this really is. And they don't know how to explore, maybe I am good enough and maybe I'm okay being who I am, and I want to find where I go in life, and that's going to fulfill me from the inside out. That's the path you're on. That's not the path these people are on. These people, it's very impish. It's just impish. And they're not ever going to be able, they think they have to catch things like from other people in order to or take things from other people, instead of building up their own life and their own self and doing that very consciously. And I only want what wants me back. And I don't want to be with somebody who would allow themselves to be used or to use me, right? It's just very different energy. So anyways, I'm going to leave that there. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.